It's a little weird being on this end of the camera, but you know, when you shoot pictures all the time, you're not used to being out in front of it, you're used to being behind it. My name is Jim Flory. I teach photography at Pacific University. How's that? A friend of mine owned a high-end photography store in Salem, Oregon, and they had the state contract for all the state agencies that did photography. So I learned a tremendous amount about equipment as well as dealing with people and teaching people over the counter. And at the same time, I was teaching night courses in photography at Chemeketa Community College in Salem. And I really enjoyed doing it. And one thing led to another, which would be Pacific University, and I'm still here. When I first came here, I was hired to teach 2 classes in photography. When I started, classes were fairly full, and the more that we went along, the bigger the classes got, and I had a lot of kids petition to have other photography classes. So I developed the photo minor so that kids could actually get a minor in photography if they wanted to, and we averaged from maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 minors to some years 15 minors, and it's been very successful. I think my favorite class to teach is Intro to Photo. In Intro to Photo, I can sync the hook and get them involved in more classes, and I'm always excited to see students that come to photography without any experience and leave as really very good photographers. I try to teach them that photography is a lifelong sport, and they can do it all their life if they want to. And if they do it right, it's almost a religious experience, because they'll get wrapped up in it, they'll forget about all the problems, and they'll just concentrate on what's in front of their camera. And it's a wonderful therapy for the soul. They not only learn about how to use their cameras and how to shoot good pictures, but they learn about the history of photography also. And I think that's terribly important, that we know where it came from and where it is now. The one thing that I hear the most is, wow, there's a big process to this. And I think that's where they learn the craft of photography, because it's not just shooting a picture, looking at the back of your camera, taking it into the digital darkroom, going through Photoshop or Lightroom and then printing it out. There's a lot more to it. And I mean, they make a lot more mistakes along the way getting to where they're a fairly good photographer, because they're dealing with the film and exposure. They can't see it right away until they process it. So there's just a lot more to it, and I think kids really like that. When people get to the point where they're going to retire, they're ready for it. What I'm going to miss the most is the interaction with the students. I mean, for me, that's what teaching's always been. And they've been tremendous students here at Pacific. And some that I'll never forget about, and some that I'll be glad to forget. No. But anyway, it's been a great adventure, and I can't think of a better job there is than teaching, because you see how successful students are, and Pacific students are tremendously successful. And I think that's really cool. It's been a good ride, and I'll be ready when the time comes. I'll be ready to hang it up. Okay?